Good evening, friends. Welcome to AMA and wishing you all a very happy new year. We are meeting for, a book release that's the Review Insight Enabler for Execution Excellence. It's a little complicated title, but it really means a lot. And we have a very renowned author, Mr. Venkat Changavalli, who has been to AMA before. And as our special guest today, we have Mr. Sunny Verghese. He's from Singapore, basically, and from a very big business house, Olam. I'll be introducing both the speakers to you, and we will have address by each one of them, and followed by a small Q&A session as we have each time. See, the context of this book, before introducing both of them, is basically just to give you a bird's eye view, because he's going to talk about the book. So I will not, in essence, I've not read it, but I just saw the synopsis. Basically, this book, The Review Insight, is a practical and insightful business guide that serves as a blueprint for building structured review mechanisms within organizations. The book emphasizes how thoughtful and consistent reviews of people, processes, and performance can enhance alignment, accountability, and agility. Anyway, more Venkat will be talking about it. So I'll introduce both the, first of all, our chief guest, Mr. Sunny Verghese. He is the co-founder and group CEO of Olam Group Limited, a leading global food and agribusiness headquartered in Singapore. Over the last 3 decades, he has led Olam's expansion to over 60 countries with 74,500 employees, serving 19,800 customers worldwide. You can see it's a really big organization. Driven by the purpose of reimagine global agriculture and food systems, he has championed sustainability through initiatives like @Source, Olam's digital platform, tracking environmental and social impact across the supply chain. He currently serves as chairman of the World Business Council for Sustainable Development, representing 200 CEOs globally, and is widely regarded as a visionary leader, transforming global agribusiness through innovation and sustainability. And he's also studied at IIM Ahmedabad, and he had come to IIM for a session today. And thanks to our friend Mr. Atanu Ghosh, who requested him to take a session at AMA also. So we are very fortunate to have Venkat. Thank you, Atanu. Atanu, I request you to come on stage and present a memento to Sunny, please. Now, yeah. So we'll talk about the author of the book, Mr. Venkat Changavalli. Many of you might have heard about him. Okay, we all know of about EMRI 108, and he is basically the creator, founder, nurturer, what you call it, that when it started originally in Hyderabad by the Satyam Group, and then came to Ahmedabad. And we're very fortunately to have Venkat Changavalli here. That was the year 2000. When C.K. Prahlad held the AMAs, we had a Millennium Conference that time. So certain unique things Dr. C.K. Prahlad pointed out, like I can remember one of them was 108 EMRI, one there was our Indian posts, certain unique things. Amul was there, all these kind of unique things which, C.K. Prahlad had researched, so he was there. And since I was there, and even Venkat was there in other forums in AMA, and he had shared one interesting thing, that after that Millennium session, one of the government officers was here, and that time, this was I think 2000, the other session, after Modi ji became the chief minister, in that other session, one of the government persons was there. And then Modi ji called Venkat that we want to start this in Gujarat on this model. This is something very interesting. And he gave him, Venkat told him, yes, we can do it, but we need about 4 or 5 months. And then Modi ji told him, no, you have studied in IIM Ahmedabad, you must give something to Gujarat. And he was given a challenge, no, I want to start this in 2 months. And Venkat could do it, he just told me, in 2 months, 2 days. That is the kind of execution, you know. And of course, he'll be talking more about all that. But I'll just give you a brief introduction. Venkat Changavalli is an IIM Ahmedabad alumnus and a visionary leader with over 48 years of experience across corporate, public, and social sectors. He is best known for conceptualizing and leading landmark emergency response initiative known as EMRI 108 and UP 100, that's in the Uttar Pradesh, which transformed public safety in India. A former CEO of Symrise India and EMRI, he currently serves as CEO of the Insurance Information Bureau of India, IIB, and director at Sri Sri Holistic Hospitals and Rubicon Research. An acclaimed author and speaker, he has penned Manage, Live and Lead. I think one of these books was launched here also. Yes, same here. That's Benchless to Benchmark and the Review Insight. His many honors include the Yash Bharti Award, Karamveer Puraskar, and a Lifetime Achievement Award for Cardiologist Society from India. Welcome, Venkat. I'll just present. I think before proceeding, we can start with the launch of the book. Yeah. The book is can you please come up and join us? Please. We have an extra copy. It's a sustainable book launch. Yes. Okay. Yes. No paper that. No removing sellotapes and all that. Yeah. So I'll first request Mr. Venkat Changavalli to deliver his address and about the book and whatever else you want to share. And thereafter, Mr. Sunny Verghese will talk. Sure. Thank you. Please.
Thank you, Mr. Radia. Very good evening. Flight got delayed, land only at 4:50. Hyderabad was all drenched with rains. So far, I launched this book at 38 places. Wow. I started on 30th March on Telugu Ugadi Day, and then launched in Kevin Care in Chennai. Then, of course, Wipro, 32 insurance companies in Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Bangalore. Launched in HMA, launched in MMA, but no comparison to AMA. So this is, I'm loyal to, though I was in MMA executive committee, but I have been more loyal to AMA because I lectured a number of times, more number of times here. I have been coming here quite often. As he said, the 26th Jan 2006, C.K. Prahalad wanted a conference on innovation, and he told me you must come and speak on EMRI Hyderabad experience in Ravi Matai Auditorium. And he told me to drive ambulance from Hyderabad to here. We drove ambulance all the way from Ahmedabad to here, and such a huge crowd. And one of the officials was there and told Mr. Modi, and Modi called me, and he heard me for instead of 20 minutes appointment time, he listened to me 50 minutes, and without interrupting, he only said at the end of 50th minute, Venkat ji बढ़िया है, चलो इधर चालू करो. कितना टाइम लगेगा? ऐसे 4 महीना. 4 महीना क्यों? आंध्रा में लिया. आंध्रा कौन सा गवर्नमेंट? कांग्रेस. हम तो बीजेपी है. वो लोग 4 महीने में लेगा तो हम तो 2 महीने में करने का है. I said no sir, recruitment, ambulance, all that I told him all. He said आप MBA कहाँ किया? IIM. Then IIM लोग बोलता है दूसरा लोग 4 महीने लेगा तो हम 2 महीने में करेंगे. So you have to do. He didn't leave me, and he was busy for 2 days. So I got 27th June 2007 I met him. 29th August 2007 I launched. I am very happy and proud to say, out of all the states I launched, 12 states, even today after my leaving after 15 years, still 108 is running as it was running in 2007 in Ahmedabad, only in Gujarat only, nowhere else. All other places it got diluted a little bit. All went to tender route and this and that. This is the same EMRI is running today after 15 years in the government, same EMRI with the same passion. I am very proud of this state and what it did. I remember when I came to Ahmedabad first time in 75, I want to know whether Ahmedabad has come or not. In the Gujmail, we come from Mumbai. So they told me, खिड़की से पूछो कौन सा स्टेशन आया, ₹1 दे दो बोलेगा तो अहमदाबाद आ गया. That is what they told me, but definitely I learnt what it means a rupee to you, to your organization, how to earn that rupee, how to spend that rupee. I think more than earning, spending fruitfully and usefully is very important. The rupee is a very symbolic thing, but how do you spend your resource? Be it time, be it money, be it your knowledge and skill. I joined, I left corporate career after 26 years. 77 to 2005 I was in corporate sector, 28 years. So Razu heard me speaking, Ramalanga Razu, whose name you don't listen today, but that time it was a famous name, Satyam Chairman. And he heard my speech in MMA. I was the chairman of that annual convention and he was the chief guest. And after listening to me, he said, I wanted to come as CEO for a social project. That I don't know the number, I don't know anything, saving lives in emergencies. And I said, I'm not interested. These Hyderabad fellows only grab land and neighbors' land. They only get up when they hear the word booze and biryani, all this. I don't want. That was, though I'm Telugu, I didn't want to come from Chennai. Is a fantastic place. And so many comforts, CEO salary, so much, all that you can't leave and come for a social project working with governments. I said, no chance. Then I went to my native place. I asked my father, who was a retired school teacher. I asked him, like this, Razu is proposing. He said, I know who is Razu, but tell me, are you interested? I said, no. Why? I'm living in a beautiful place. From my 8th floor, I can see sea and river and all that, and I'm paying highest income tax there in Chennai city, most professional CEO. I don't want to come. He asked me, when you die, what gets written in your obituary? A father inculcating sense of working for others by telling that when you die, what gets written in your obituary? I said, they will write that I went to IIM Ahmedabad, the youngest age, I became CEO and built that company, and one son has gone to America and my wife has got gold, all this. He said, nothing they will write. What they will write is only what you have done to others. What have you given a fraction of your knowledge, fraction of your time, fraction of your resources for somebody's development, that somebody who is not known to you, outside your family, if you have done that, that's what gets written. Last 20 years, I heard him. This was Jan 22nd, 2005. From that day till now, I have been only in public service with 108, followed by UP, followed by other 6 state governments. Now also the IIB is basically Insurance Information Bureau, Government of India organization at 72 in government as a full-time CEO for next year also. Basically, you require lots of professionals in these sectors. Unfortunately, few governments encourage it, few politics encourage it. But I am glad I got such an opportunity. And this program today, 50 days of preparation, even today's program, thank you, Mr. Dikshit. I remember 8 September you wrote to me, and 29th October, exactly 50 days. And I sent him books long time back on 20th September. And I'm glad that it's happening today. I'm grateful to AMA for hosting this function, to you, my classmate Rajaram, for having introduced, and of course to the chief guest Sunny and my friend Atanu, who introduced him. Atanu is a great friend, very passionate teacher, been meeting, and his classmate was my colleague. Recently, when he came to Hyderabad also, we had a dinner together. I've been coming to AMA, as I was saying, when Mr. Nair was there, many training programs I was conducting. I came for the tribute session of C.K. Prahlad, and my book was launched here. So I'm honored and grateful to all of you for having come here to grace this occasion and learn something. Context is from 94 to now I have been working as a CEO and as an advisor to various 7 state governments, and now currently CEO of IIB. Review is something extremely important. I'm not talking about individual performance review, HR related. I'm talking as a CEO, as a head of the department, what you review. That is the real enabler for execution excellence. That's why when I told you that example of 2 months and 2 days it took EMRI 108, whichever state. Rajshekar Reddy, when I met him first time, he said, when will you launch? I met him on 2nd April 2005, and I told him Independence Day, 15th August we will launch, exactly 15th August 2005. When I met Modi, I told you. When I met Uttarakhand CM Kanduriji, I met him on 8th March 2008. I launched on 15th May 2008. Same way Goa, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, Meghalaya, Assam, every state a date committed to the CM on the day. So crucial thing is execution. What all things you do to make sure that things happen to you. It is not what you think as a CEO inside. It's finally the rubber has to touch the road. So execution is the ultimate test for the leadership success. Time and again, you have seen many capable CEOs, fantastic in strategic thinking, conceptual skills, quite a lot of exceptional communication skills. They lost their jobs only because they could not execute what was promised. So single most differentiating factor between a successful CEO and non-successful is only execution. And execution is not something optional. It is integral to strategy. Olden days, strategy department, when we passed out, planning department was separate now. And execution today is all integrated. You don't have a choice. It's all embedded in the culture of the organization execution. Of course, it depends on lots of factors, execution, be it clear communication or be it coordination, be it robust IT systems, be it resolution of people issues, process issues. From my 3 decades of experience, conducting and participating in the review meetings, private sector, government sector, PPP sector, I thought well-structured review meetings serve really as a cornerstone for the growth of the organization. These meetings actually bring so many benefits, even if you think alphabetically. I wrote in the book, it leads to lots of actions. What needs to be done and what kind of decisions have to be made in the review meeting, and conflict resolutions happen there. A lot of feedback to the people inside the meeting, learning new things, uncovering the hidden problems which people are not telling. Team building happens, motivation happens, like this, numerous benefits of review meetings. So, the overview of this book is that first time in the history, there are 18 authors in a 100-page book. One is me and 17 people who worked with me in the last 31 years. Those people wrote 1/3 of the book about their experience of attending review meetings when I was the CEO there. And all these 8 different from UP, from EMRI, from current IIB, IRD, all that. And I don't want to lose my number 108, it's 108 pages exactly. But the book, I ended with 100 pages. I didn't have content, what to do. I kept notes there, empty pages, because review is nothing but writing down what's happening. I thought it's important, let me put the notes as a class notes kind of thing, ruled notes I kept there. And I priced it at 234 from the learning of the previous books. What I wrote, the first book, Manage, Live and Lead, that was basically inspiration of Dr. Kalam. And Dr. Kalam was my good friend from 2000, even he was the president of the country. When I launched this book in Hyderabad, my 108 in Hyderabad in 2005, he heard about it. August 15th I launched. He sent me a mail Sir, Namaskaram, sir. So he sent me a message that I want to meet you. November 18th, I met him and he said, what is that? Something about 108. What's happening in Hyderabad? I prepared, made a good presentation and some 35 pages I made and went there. And in that big room of 300-400 square feet in Rashtrapati Bhavan, from a rural area, going to a Rashtrapati Bhavan was a great thing for me. When I went there, he was sitting in a corner table there and no presentation, nothing. Luckily, I took the printout. He was asking question after question after question. Which process? Page number 22. Which technology? 24. Then outcomes, how many lives you saved? What is the board? Like this question, and then I was giving. 20 minutes became 50 minutes. And he said, I want to work with you. He got up. This was on 18th November 2005. He said, when I retire on 24th July 2007, I want to work with you. And he came after retirement and we worked together. He was my chairman. That 50 times we went abroad, gave lectures. That mentorship is something. When I left EMRI in 2011, that day night 10:30 he rang me up and said, what will you do tomorrow morning? I said, I won't answer. I'm dying here losing the job and you're telling me what will you do tomorrow morning? No, you have to answer. I said, I won't answer. He said, I'll answer for you. You become an author, you become a teacher, you become a mentor, and you start working with governments. I'm dictating this, and that's all from that day till now, last 15 years. I worked with 7 state governments, 350 people I mentored, 3 books I authored. He had tapped hidden potential of me. He had more trust in me than myself. I couldn't believe that much competence I had, but he had that. That is the role of a mentor, having more confidence. That's what the teachers do, the kind of trust what they have in students. And based on that experience, second book experience, I priced it at 234 rupees. First of all, with all these Google Pays and all that, you don't bother how much money it is. Earlier it was all 600, 800 and all that. But today you don't have change problems. So I said, why not I price it at 234? 234 is basically sequential number. And when you add again 2 plus 3 plus 4 is like 1 plus 0 plus 8 only. I don't want to leave that 108, 9 and 234 is 9. And again, family connection, 2 of us living in Hyderabad. 3 of my second son lives in Sydney. 4 of them, first son live in New Jersey. So they are also happy. And everybody is happy with this 234. 13 months it took for me to write a book. Book writing is not a commercial activity at all. Purely that man dictated, you share your knowledge, that's all, nothing else. There are 10 chapters, 10 key messages, 9 endorsements by insurance CEOs, Apollo, Sangeeta Reddy. Then of course, my own classmate from 77 batch, Sudarshan Jain, who was former CEO of Abbott. And Shringeri Shankaracharya told me when I left, he said, I pray Goddess Saraswati, Saradamba, to give you strength and health to keep on sharing and keep on doing work for others. Every time, this Sunday I met him and his successor, 37th Guru. Same thing, you keep doing work for others. More and more you do for others, more and more you realize yourself. So I wrote on the importance of execution. I wrote about essential qualities of a reviewer. When the guy who wants to review, what qualities he must have as a leader, as a life skills what he needs to have. He must know how to respect people. He must know how to listen to people. He must know how to vision for the organization. He must know how to resolve the conflicts. So this kind of skills I wrote for a reviewer. Then I wrote that leadership styles of 6 of them. A coercive leader, how he reviews, and an authoritative leader, not authoritarian. A coaching leader, how he reviews. Then of course, how my bosses reviewed me. How Ramalanga Razu reviewed me. And how Mr. Kirchhoff in Singapore, German boss, how he reviewed me, 11 years. And how Mr. Panda, who was the chairman till recently of IRDA, how he reviewed me. And one man, the German man is very brief and gives the complete, whereas Ramalanga Razu will ask 100 questions. and no jokes, no humor, nothing of the kind. But extremely visionary. Where a panda always goes out of syllabus. If I am prepared launched this book, he will say talk about first book. Complete out of question. But each of them have been successful people. Whereas I got reviewed by 4 chief ministers, Rajshekar Reddy, extremely affectionate, people-centric man. They were in review meetings, he asked me to tell jokes. Tell me a story, Venkat, today no presentation. I told him one day, sir, Jubilee Hills, there was an old couple of 65 and 68, they were living alone, and there was a robbery took place in the early morning. They bet the husband-wife. Husband was tied to the pillar and took all the jewelry and cash, and finally after chori is over, they asked wife to give glass of water. And wife said, she gave glass of water. They felt extremely happy for her compassion to the thieves. And then thieves told her, sorry madam, we have bet your husband badly. And after we leave, 10 minutes later, you ring up 108, ambulance will come and take your husband to hospital, he will be all right. And this lady very sincerely waited 10 minutes, I don't know for what. She waited 10 minutes, rang up 108, ambulance came, took him to hospital. He is extremely hale and hearty. He is what newspapers have quoted today. I told this to CM and extremely, he just smiled and all that. In a review meeting. Then he said, no, I want one more story. Sir, Yamadharmaraj, Lord Yama also reviews every month. He conducts his review meetings, every state head, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat. These guys are meeting targets, exceeding actually UP, Bihar or Rajasthan. They are exceeding their targets, monthly targets of Yama's assistants, state heads. But Andhra fellows are not achieving target. Then Rajshekar Reddy asked me why. Sir, one man called Rajshekar Reddy, I was telling him before him, Rajshekar Reddy went and approached Ramalanga Raju. They tied up in PPP, brought one useless fellow from Madras called Venkat Changavalli. They brought him a CEO. He built such a system, ambulance is reaching before these Yama soldiers go. That's why they are not meeting targets. That's all the way he laughed mad and gave me that day lots of goodies. I think the role of humor review meeting is this man YSR did. But Chandrababu Naidu is a visionary. And he starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon till night 11 or 11:30, doesn't even get up. He will not even go to loo. I always wonder whether he was wearing a diaper kind of thing, because 9 hours, 74, 75. But that is the kind of seriousness he gives to the review meetings. And if you say 2,21,221, Venkatagar, I don't think it's correct. 2,21,000, no, 222. He is updated more than you. To the last digit, he goes into details. Whereas Akhilesh Yadav only on sofa, 10 मिनट में चंगावली साहब खत्म करना. कुछ दिक्कत है क्या? ये चीफ सेक्रेटरी कुछ नहीं कर रहा है क्या? Our my batchmate, 1 year senior was there. Then ये कुछ का मदद नहीं कर रहा है क्या? बोलिए. 10-15 मिनट में हो गया. No presentation, no all the nonsense. But Mr. Modi is again different man. You prepare all and go there. Tell me how I am better than Andhra or not. I say much better than Andhra. Good, that's expected. Tell me now what about 911? I have not prepared 911 Gujarat, how the hell I can prepare? But no, 911 ko bolo. Then I said, Venkat, tell me what they have not given Andhra people. Sir, they have not given me land and building. Le lo, 15 acre. Dekho. The day I launch, first chief minister in the entire country who gave me 15 acre land in that place called Katwada, near airport, recently that, I think where that aircraft has fallen. This visionary is of that kind of thing. But of course, he is self-centered to Gujarat, and as a chief minister, something good for me should happen, nothing else. I should be the best in the world. Tell me what all. Like this, the 4 chief ministers' styles I wrote in the book. Then, of course, lots of reflections and lots of the 17 people writing how they perceived. Then, of course, what I would request you is tell me one number, 2-digit number, to end my speech. Take a 2-digit number of your birth or year of birth, date of birth, your spouse's birth date, whatever you want to pick up. 59. Great. So in the page 59, I wrote that how Dr. Throughout my career, I had the distinct privilege of being reviewed by some of the most dynamic and influential leaders in Indian politics. Their vision, their leadership, and review styles played a crucial role in shaping my approach to execution, governance, and large-scale public service institutions. Then I wrote about all that. Yeah. Any other number? Atan? Huh? Seven is basically, for review is, talking from the guys who are attending, consistent practice of following habits are important. One is listening, second is effective note making. And let me tell you, on note taking, whatever I studied in IIM Ahmedabad, 75 to 77, all 36 subjects, 18 first year, 18 second year, 6 in each semester. If you ask me which assignment, how many marks I got, computers are whack, or you tell me a course, I will tell you how many marks, what case was discussed in their class, I will give you in 30 seconds. All those class notes, everything is there. Dr. Kalam didn't believe when his secretary told. When he came home, he said, I want to go to your place and see it. He said, show me. I'll tell you, 3rd Feb 73. What were you doing? 3rd Feb 73, I was in chemical engineering class, thermodynamics. And I removed that and gave him, okay, let us discuss now thermodynamics. Mar gaya raat mein 11 o'clock. What will you discuss? Thermodynamics. That man was willing to discuss. So I'm saying the effective note taking is not important. Retrieval of that is important. And then I wrote like that, how do you manage your time? How do you master your presentations and reviewing? It all depends on what you present to your boss. A reviewer can be effective only when you make a good presentation. If you make a lousy presentation also, other than shouting at you, the whole meeting is not meant for that. Meeting is to guide you and make you a better performer. Yeah, any other number? Atanu. Importance of time management in the review meeting. Time management is like a navigating river. You can never touch the same water twice. So use every moment wisely. So I wrote about some tips and all that I wrote. And then about essential communication skills of a reviewer. Listening to, writing to, non-verbal communication, how important I wrote. Yeah. 2-4. Attitude of the reviewer is the most important thing in a review meeting. A negative attitude reviewer, you had it. But I worked with such bosses also. I abused them and left. I remember he asked me, he was most incompetent, unethical fellow. Bala and me both worked down. 28th May 92, he called me to his cabin and said, I heard you don't have any respect for me. I said, I'll be dishonest if I say no. That's all, I lost my job. I can't work with such people. That attitude is something, that is the real difference, what made for me. Particularly I was successful in government setup only because of, I have gone there to do something for people. I have not gone there to improve this government, improve that party, improve those politics. So, it is their money, I am using it to do something good for the people. Let me do that. I came to Ahmedabad last time 2 years back. So, Mr. Vikas Rao, he is the Chief Ombudsman here for Gujarat State.
Retired on
9th October. But I came here when you were there. I came to reviewing from Ombudsman Committee from IRDA. I was coming here. Then I'm glad he called me for the Ombudsman Day, November Lokpal Day. I came here. But all these, he retired from LIC ED and then he became, all this is to help that poor person whose claim is not rejected by the insurance company, and how passionately, compassionately they used to look at it. So, key messages, 4 at least, let me tell you. One is, review process is not about fault finding. It is about collective problem solving. It's about collective learning and collective growth. That's the first message. Second message is review process is not merely an assessment. It is a catalyst actually for transformation, fostering a culture of excellence, continuous learning. Review is always disciplined. It is not ill-disciplined, coming on time and discussing, but it is still relaxed, fostering an environment where discussions are extremely meaningful and solution-driven. And the review process nurtures that culture of continuous learning. Remarkable aspect of review is to distill complex issues into a very, very clear, actionable items. Throughout my career, I have been only doing this. I was born in a village called Adipudi to Ahmedabad, Ahmedabad to America, all starting with A. And from a rural place, studying in Telugu medium, to Ahmedabad, without knowing much of English at that time, called for remedial classes 1 month before. And then going out from out of 120 batch, I may be one of the 30-40 guys. When you say 30-40, not one of the 40, it's only 40th, 30th kind of thing. But today I'm extremely happy to say, if you ask 77 batch, if 3-4 names are coming who made a mark in this country, definitely I hope that my name comes, other than Banga, Ramavi, or all that. Because it's what was taught to us, not necessary. We have used that in the same year, next year, all that kind of. Many MBAs want to use their knowledge, that discipline of that VAC course. If you submit it from 1 o'clock, 1 to 105, one course less and 1.5 after that, or 2-page assignment, you give 3 pages, removing the 3rd page and giving it to you. That 11:55 class is 11:55. There is nothing like 11:56 there. All these were grilled here. That was there. You cannot go at the age of 22, 23, what was given to us. I am extremely happy to be here in Ahmedabad today to talk about my third book. My first book was Manage, Live and Lead. People know how to manage somehow, but they don't know how to live. Living with values, living with that positive attitude, living with that interpersonal skills of communication and respecting, relationship building. And then more importantly, how do you manage yourself? Your time, your anger, all that. And then I wrote the 20 leadership skills and dimensions. All this is from my experience, not copy paste of Peter Drucker or something. It's all from what I experienced. Concept, what I implemented, and some tips for the younger generation. And Dr. Kalam always told me, don't leave a stage without telling 2 stories from that book. Because I gave him the first copy in 8 September 2014 and touched his feet as a guru. And he told me 28 stories in that book, first management book, leadership book with stories. One story is basically a lady who dries her clothes in her balcony and tells husband the opposite clothes are quite dirty. And wife says, why are you telling? Husband says, why are you telling me? Why don't you go and tell that lady if they are black and... But wife says, if I tell you, I am very confident that you will go and tell her. But she will still tell him every day. Next 10 days gives him that opposite lady's clothes are dirty. And finally 11th day, she calls him and tells him, my dear, see, look at the clothes. So they are so bright and white. So you must have gone and told her all my secrets. He says, I didn't do anything except half an hour before you I got up and cleaned the window glass on which dirt is there. So basically in my entire career, when I moved from one assignment to another assignment, I was cleaning my glass and seeing things from a different perspective, from pharma industry to fragrance flavor industry to emergency medicine to, I went to police emergency to agriculture in Meghalaya and now to insurance. This insurance at the age of 70, I accepted this in 3 years. 17 crore company became 42 crores. I'm very proud that how we have grilled here, how we are shaped here in IMA, all that is helping in different assignments, helping me to see things from a different perspective. And last story I would like to tell you is that there is a disease called excusitis, like rhinitis, arthritis, sinusitis, excusitis. People suffer from this disease, giving excuses for not doing their work. People say, I'm very old. I'm 72. Every day, Monday to Friday, I go to office. And Saturday, Sunday, I teach and mentor and all that. Age is only a number, nothing else. And there's a beautiful lady sitting next to me in the flight. Don't think that I will just close my eyes and say I'm 70 to 72. No, I behave normal way what I was behaving 50 years back also. As long as it's ethical and legal, it's fine. It's another human being. Health is another excuse. People say, I'm not healthy, I'm diabetic. Who is not diabetic? 1 out of 2 is anyway diabetic. Ahmedabad means only more than 20%. I think how do you manage things with that same disease? Given that, take care, more walk, all that. But that cannot be the constraint. Same way, luck, I am not lucky, you are lucky. That's nonsense. You do all good work, naturally. We were not lucky that we got into Ahmedabad. We did some work. And finally, intelligence is another excuse. People say, I am not intelligent, you are not intelligent. Bullshit. Sonia Gandhi is not intelligent, but she controlled, Manmohan Singh to Chidambaram to all of them. But she was able to leverage, and the same way our Prime Minister, how he was leveraging his background to get something. I think it's basically successful people have leveraged their denominator to produce higher numerator than having, discontented with the smaller denominator. Thank you so much, and best wishes to you.
Thank you, sir. And now I request Mr. Sunny Verghese to give his address. You want to talk from there or you come here, whatever.
It's okay.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Venkat Changavalli. That was very inspiring and a lot of learning concentrated in a short sharing session with us. So very grateful for that. Thank you for inviting me as a guest of honor. Delighted and very impressed with what AMA has achieved. Looking at how many times you have won the Best Management Association award, and despite not participating for several years to give others a chance, when you re-participated, you again got conferred the distinction. Delighted to be here and share. There were many things that was talked about in terms of improving execution excellence and the review process at the center of improving that. I'm not going to recount all that Venkat has mentioned, particularly the 4 key takeaways that he mentioned at the end of it. But I truly believe that for every company, inspiration is only 1%, 99% is perspiration in actually getting, sweating over the details and getting the execution right. So there's no doubt in my mind that execution is crucial, having led and run companies as the key differentiator between a successful business and a not so successful business. The first 10% of getting your strategy and your direction right is crucial, because if you have that first 10% right, which is strategy and where to play and how to win and building an organization, but at the end of the day your execution is poor, then it is a little bit analogous to having a very powerfully aligned organization standing on top of a cliff and jumping to our doom in great synchrony because we have executed brilliantly, but we got the direction wrong in the first place. So that 10% is critical, but we cannot be misguided by the relevance and the saliency of the 10% versus the saliency of the 90%. And I think many of the practical suggestions and solutions that are in the book, and I'm inspired to make sure that I read this book before I go to bed tonight. I have a flight at 11:30 or whatever time it is. It's thankfully 108 pages, so it is in a digestible form. And I would hope that before I board my flight, I have learned something more. I have a simple rule in life, that I cannot go to bed and hit my pillow any night unless I've learned something new. And that learning comes from variety of sources, a diverse set of sources. It can come from very unexpected places. But I want to make sure that another day that I spend on this planet is made some difference to me in terms of some learning that I can use from the people that I've come into touch with on a daily basis. Venkat challenged us in terms of writing your own obituary. And this is something I do with all the people who joined my company, that in the first week that they have joined the company, I want them to write an obituary. I'm not being morbid and I don't wish them ill, but they have to, in the first week that they are in the company, write their obituary in terms of what would they want people to tell about them if something unfortunate were to happen. And that then gives the person a chance to really define success. And it is a very personal definition. Each of us will look at success in our own way based on our own experiences. But when you're forced to write about what you want other people close to you to say about you towards your end, that gives you your personal definition of what success means. And that definition for me has multiple things you need to tick the box on. Something about achievement, not from negative drivers of jealousy or envy that you want to achieve those things, but from a positive driver in terms of you want to achieve mastery of your skill or your craft. And when you're looking at achievement, you're looking at achievement which will compare you with how others have accomplished things, but from positive drivers, not from jealousy and envy and wanting to make more money. So something in the achievement box, what have you achieved? You should tick that. Second is the happiness box. That have you done something in your life that makes you truly happy, that gives you real joy, content, and fulfillment? And it is not a sequential thing. In the past, I thought that till I retired, say 65 years, I'm now 65. 65, I will focus on the achievement box, mastery of skill and accomplishment. And then after I retire from 65 to 75, I'll focus on my happiness box. If I'm still alive after 75, then I'll focus on what Venkat talked about, which is of being significance to others. Having made a difference in somebody else's life, my friends, family, relatives, my colleagues, I will focus on that. And then whatever time I've left on this planet, I will focus on leaving a legacy. Not writing a trust fund for my children, but establishing my accomplishments in a way that my children or my colleagues can go to higher achievements and accomplishments, standing on the basis of how I have set up my accomplishments. And finally, to wonder, to be curious, to get to the person who has influenced me most in my life is my mother. And my mother has not passed school. She dropped out of school when she was in the 8th standard. But what I have learned in life in terms of life lessons, the most wise person that I have come across in my 65 years is my mom. So it's not about formal learning and formal knowledge. It is about wisdom. So for which you need to be curious and for which you need to be humble. I have a passion these days which is about living the world a better place for our children and our grandchildren. And for that, I believe that we have to tackle some of the existential crises that we face. And because of the sector that I'm in, I run a company called Olam. We're a leading global food and agri-business. We have revenues of about 42 billion US. We employ about roughly 80,000 people, of which 40,000 are seasonal workers, 40,000 are permanent workers. And we work in about 67 countries across a wide range of food and agri-commodities. So with that scale and influence, when I was 45, my road to Damascus moment was my children shining a mirror in my face and saying that you've done so much, you have a lot of influence, you employ so many people, you have a very large business, global business, but was all this worth it? All this overwhelming effort that you put in, has it made a difference to our lives and our future and our children's lives? You had an opportunity to do it, but you didn't do it. And then I realized that I did not have sustainability, naturalistic intelligence, which is one of the 8 intelligences now under the multiple intelligence theory. So some of us are born with naturalistic and sustainability intelligence, which means we understand fauna and flora, and some of us don't care about pets. Some of us are very fond of pets. Some of us have a natural intelligence of caring for the environment and things around us, about natural capital and about diversity of species, etc. There are 9.5 million species around the world. And there are more than 28,000 species which are at threat of extinction at this point in time as we speak. Each of these tiny toad, tick, and creatures have a specific role to play in controlling the water cycle, the microenvironment. And we have large almond plantations and orchards in Australia and California. 2 years ago, we had a varroa mite infestation in an Australian almond orchards. And instead of 5 beehives stocking rate per hectare, we could only get 2 beehives per hectare. And that meant I had a significant loss in production. And it cost me $138 million in terms of damages to my plantation, which was a significant part of my after-tax profits. So this tiny creature, the bee, has got so much of influence and impact. And for every almond orchard, every acre, I have to invest a lot of fixed capital. And all of that fixed capital is then resting on the whims and fancies of this one tiny bee. So everything in this world, whether it is carbon, climate, whether it's nature, biodiversity, whether it's water, we consume 4,100 liters of water per day. 3,800 liters of the water comes from the food that we eat. 50 liters of water for a personal hygiene, our bathing and brushing and everything else. And 370,000 liters for industrial use that leads to products that we consume. So 4,100 liters of water a day per capita. And if our population is growing, and it's now 8.3 billion people, and we are adding 1% to that population each year, almost 80 million people are being added to the world each year, where are we going to find the additional water? Where are we going to find the additional land? All of these are limited. So solving for these existential crises and problems requires radical collaboration. So some of the ideas, as Venkat was explaining this book and the principles in this book, I found it very simple. And I want to inspire him. I'm not a writer, I'm not an author. His mission and his calling now is to convey his wisdom and shared wisdom that he has learned over the years to people. So I would like to challenge Venkat, more importantly than challenge, I want his help in trying to, in a simple language and simple, effective way, to wake up all of us on what we need to solve some of the existential crises that we face. Over the 43 years that I've been working since I graduated from Ahmedabad in 1982, along with my good friend and mentor, Atanu, I have learned some few valuable lessons. The first lesson that I've learned is first differentiate before you scale. If you don't differentiate, don't scale, because you're going to always struggle for profitability. I run a commodity business, a global commodity business, and it's an oxymoron. How do you differentiate a commodity business where everything is standardized contract, standardized product attributes? But every business can be commoditized. A banking business or a very technology intensive business can be commoditized. Every commodity business can be differentiated. But you shouldn't try to grow a business if you haven't created some edge, angle, or differentiation. That's my first most valuable lesson. My second lesson is best practice is lousy strategy. So I was impressed that Venkat's second book was on benchmarking, benchless to benchmarking. But at the end of the day, everybody is trying to benchmark best practice. When you get to best practice, it becomes the standard. Everybody is best practice. So how do you differentiate yourself? You have to invent and find next practice. That is my second lesson. My third lesson is knowledge, data, information is useless. We live in a Google era world where knowledge is available on tap. You stretch your arms out. You want to be an expert in nuclear fission. I give you a few hours a day to just research the topic through DeepSeek or ChatGPT. Tomorrow you can present a pretty convincing argument on what nuclear fission is all about and the opportunities and threats about nuclear fission. So therefore, what is relevant is insight. not knowledge. Insight is a powerful capability predator. But to get to insight, you need to connect the dots, see the pattern, see a picture, and that becomes very powerful. Focus on people and organizational advantage. Because to win, you need to do two things. You need to develop innovative strategy, a winning strategy, and you need to execute that strategy. Who develops winning strategy? People. Who executes the strategy? People. Who does the review process and the styles that Venkat talked about? It's all about the quality of people. So focus on people. The next thing that I've learned is be counter-cyclical. When everybody is scared, as Warren Buffett says, when everybody is fearful, be greedy. When everybody is greedy, be fearful. So the global financial crisis, the next crisis that is looming, is when people will be paralyzed into inaction. And that's the time to invest. What you have been thinking about in terms of making capital investment choices and decisions, that is the time to invest when others are fearful and off the market. Put sustainability at the heart of your business. And it has to be integral to the business, not as an afterthought, not as a risk management strategy or risk mitigation strategy, but truly something that differentiates your business and allows you to win. Focus on emerging markets. That's where the puck is going to be. And you want to anticipate where the puck is going to end. And really, disproportionate growth is going to be in the emerging markets. Today, the world's PIN code is changing. Africa has 1.4 billion people. Asia has 4.5 billion people. North America has roughly 800 to 900 million people. Europe has 700 million people. In 2100, Africa is going to go from 1.4 billion to 4.6 billion. Asia will degrow. China will start degrowing. India will start degrowing. But there will still be 4.2, 4.4 billion people, somewhere in that range. But the rest of the world is going to significantly degrow. The future for all of us is in these emerging markets where there's going to be disproportionate growth. I'm grateful for being invited today here and to participate in this. Felicitations to Venkat. I wish his book great success. I like the way you articulate your story, and I'm touched and inspired, and I will read this book today, and I will become a bit wiser today after the effect. Thank you all very much. Great to see you.
Thank you so much, Sunny Verghese, for that crisp address. And can we take a few questions before we wind up for? So you can please just ask the questions one by one. Please. Address to whom? Address to whom, please. Address to whom? Which speaker? Yeah. Okay.
I have very good experience regarding the EMRI services. I got very good response when I once met the accident. But how to reduce the response? At present, what is the response time? And how to reduce that? And any innovative steps we can do for the still reduce the response. Second thing, after the accident, EMRI coming and picks up all the pupils, but what about the vehicles that is got stolen so many things when once I met it. So anything focus on these things.
I think this improving the response time is a continuous process. One is more and more use of technology, but I think EMRI has to use much more technology, including AML, where they can really deployment of ambulances at strategic points has to be reviewed every 6 months, because you have to locate them like that, not exactly 1 lakh population, one ambulance. Some places where it is accident prone, where it is there's some disease born, it has to be 20,000 population, one ambulance could be. It could be a 3 lakhs population one. That is one distribution of ambulance. Second is use of technology. In what I did in Gujarat in 2007, what I did in 2015 in UP, I spent 300 crores on technology there. Here what we spent was only less than 10-12 crores. But I'm not sure governments are upgrading spending. They give the same 1.5 lakhs per ambulance per month. Whereas if consumers are before 2007, you didn't have an ambulance first of all. They were dying there and nobody bothered. And today, you are saying, I want good. I think who spoiled? Government only spoiled. By saying in 20 minutes, we are coming now 15 minutes. Now, why can't you come in 14 minutes? Nothing wrong with that. But which requires technology usage, skill development of people, as well as the AML technology, plus redeployment of ambulances, plus ambulance quality itself. See, if you want to cut down costs on these things, I don't like this is an investment. It's a message. What Mr. Modi wrote on 1st July 2010 when we inaugurated the building, he said 108 is symbol of governance. If whether government is working or not, ambulance reaching in time is what he has written beautifully there. It's a symbol of promptness, symbol of punctuality, symbol of governance, and symbol of leadership of the state. When he was the CM, I met him at least 30-40 times. I remember once when I was telling a story of a lady went to the toilet and a pregnant woman about to deliver kind of thing. She delivered in the toilet. And the kid went inside the toilet, Indian toilet. I told the story how the 108 ambulance came on the track and picked up the new kid and then took the kid to the next railway station where mother was there. Both were treated and pre-hospital care provided. Both are safe. When I told this in a meeting in Baroda launch, Surat launch में Mr. Modi told me, Changavalli साहब इधर आना. वो कहानी है ना वो औरत डिलीवरी वो सब आप नहीं बोलना हम बोलेंगे. That's all. भाई और बहन वो all that and then who did the ownership of this project and leadership is very very important. Somehow I feel this got diluted. Though Gujarat is still at higher level compared to others, but much more to catch up, which requires this should not be treated as a commercial investment. It's a non-profit public service organization. This also requires more investment in technology. Actually, my experience is non-profits require better leadership, better technology, because there is no competition here. If ambulance doesn't come, and the fellow will die. This is what we have to sensitize the governments and some of the and IAS officials more importantly. When I said air-conditioned ambulance, they said, why ambulance? They are not required when buses are not air-conditioned, trains are not air-conditioned. Why are you proposing 3 lakhs extra? I said, let at least the fellow die here, aram se, in the air-conditioned atmosphere. And 3 lakhs, what it matters? But luckily, Rajshekar Reddy agreed and Mr. Modi also. But the officials say, no, how can you do? Some official in Gujarat particularly, we want to charge you. Why are you giving free? I said, what is that? The fellow who is rich man also, when he falls on the road, where is his purse? Where he will pay? And you are paying only 1 rupee per month per citizen. That's the cost of running an ambulance. Why are you looking from financial perspective? Luckily, I could succeed that time till today. That service is still running without collecting money. 1,200 crores per annum. What cost in that, in our total, each state budget of 2-3 lakhs crores. Thank you.
Safety of the vehicles or after that.
Can we have somebody else, please?
Vehicles anyway, briefly, once the vehicles is not part of this. So I did there, so in UP project, I did the police emergent system, where a vehicle is lost, property is lost, you will be able to ring exactly like what happens in 108 and the vehicle comes, police vehicle. 3,200 vehicles I launched in UP for 75 districts, where response time is 8 to 15 minutes. But Gujarat, when I came, they said, no, itna paisa nahi hai. What can I do?
Sir, can we think about helicopter service? Helicopter service.
अरे यार पैसा एम्बुलेंस को नहीं है हेलीकॉप्टर बोलते हैं आप दिस इंडिया नॉट अमेरिका no people unnecessarily talk of no I want to discourage this kind of talk of helicopter का बदले you can buy some 10,000 ambulances so buy that sorry
One of the, say in a review meeting, I said a weekly review meeting, some sincere officer coming late by 10-15 minutes. How do you suggest?
I will close the door actually at the time. My practice is 9 o'clock review, door is closed. I learned from Wipro Vice Chairman, he closes the door. Whoever it is, doesn't matter. I don't allow my people reporting to him also coming late.
Second question, little bit personal. how do you remember such dates so frequently, so?
It's not personal, it's professional. There's nothing personal. I practice, I remember those. If you ask me what my wife cooked, what my wife cooked yesterday, I will not remember. What is relevant to you, what is important, is this, I'll remember that practice and write down. I write down. Even to this meeting, though it is 39th launch, see my notes.
Thank you very much, both of you. Your lecture was also very remarkable.
Thank you. Yeah.
So one quick question. In review meetings, there are a lot of senior fellows who have a lot of egos. I mean, people like chief ministers, people like large company owners, they have fat egos. How do you convey the tough things to them in an easier way?
I think three simple things I learned, particularly last 20 years working with governments. One is humility. I have not gone there to tell them I am from IMA. I have not gone there to tell them I was a failure CEO. I have not gone there to show my intelligence. I have gone there to serve others through them. He is the man. So for me, respecting the chief minister is the most important thing. So Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, though he is much younger to me, though he opens my door for the car, he will stand there till I get in and he opens. When we get into helicopter, he will get in only after I get in. But still, I'll call him sir. Because that respecting is one form of your humility, is one part I learnt. Because in the corporates, we had reasonable arrogance. And number two is simplicity. I think how to make simpler. In this complex globalized scenario, harnessing multiple resources in a non-linear way, in an innovative fashion, that English will not work. Our competition increased. Thoda work hard. I will reward you. More and more, because I learned this from Dr. Kalam, so much he simplifies. And third thing is the integrity. They can eat money, politicians, but if you are high integrity, they respect you quite a lot. For me, in my 20 years, I worked with Yedurappa, I worked with Rajshekar Reddy, I worked with that idiot in Uttarakhand also. But Mayavati, she asked money. I said, sorry, I cannot give. This project is something I cannot give. But I never compromised my integrity. I got more respect. The simplicity, respect, humility, when you do that with your integrity, you can work with anybody. I worked with BJP, I worked with Congress, I worked with Jagan Mohan Reddy for 3 years. Who went to jail 3 years? My luck is that many people whom I worked, they went to jail. Ramalanga Raju went to jail. This man Yedurappa went to jail. But that doesn't mean anything to me. They were helpful to me to do something for the people. That's why I looked at 2,200 crores project in UP. Never police got such an amount. In 22 months, I implemented, and he told me, you have to speak in Hindi. 22 months का बाद हिंदी में एक दक्षिण भारत से एक आदमी वेंकट चंगावली करके यहाँ आके लखनऊ में गंगा में डूब के यूपी में पाप सब यहाँ धो के पुण्य वापस साउथ में नहीं गया. यहीं लखनऊ में कुछ करने के लिए कोई रिश्तेदार नहीं है. इसके लिए 22,000 करोड़ का प्रोजेक्ट 22 महीना में 22 करोड़ का पॉपुलेशन के लिए एक पैसा मैं नहीं खाया, एक पैसा इसको खाने को नहीं दिया. That's what he told me after that. Akhilesh, I think you have to adapt yourself. You have to learn when you go there to serve. But all of us only want, I want respect, no. You are a small fry, you have to imagine when you go there. And that's how I feel. Thank you.
Sunny, I have a question for you. Sure. Because you're leading this initiative, today sustainability is really, this consciousness, awareness is big throughout the world. And you're leading this World Business Council on Sustainability, where there are about 200 CEOs. Can you throw a little bit light about them? So which countries or how, in what way they're contributing, or through governments or something? Yeah.
So the World Business Council for Sustainable Development is a global organization. So there are 260 odd companies. They can only be represented by the CEOs. So these companies are from North America, South America, Europe, Asia, but the said including India. So there are many CEOs from India, including the ITC chairman and CEO, the Godrej chairman and CEO. So there are many Indian companies that are also part of this journey. They can only be represented by the CEO because they don't want the council members to say that they will have to go and consult their board or consult their executive team before they can commit the company to a course of action. So it's all about how to help the council members to make the transition to becoming fully sustainable in terms of being climate positive, nature positive, livelihood positive, and how to set up governance structures and systems that will allow them or help them in the transformation journey. So it works very well. Yeah, so we meet as an exco of the World Business Council. The World Business Council has an exco which has 22 CEOs out of these 250 CEOs or 260 CEOs who are part of the executive team, which has to meet every 4 to 6 weeks. So there are frequent meetings as an annual council dinner, but there is a lot of institutionalized mechanisms for learning and sharing information. So all 780 companies, not just the 250 companies who are members, but other companies can send their annual reports, which the World Business Council's team will analyze and benchmark and compare how good you are to the best practice, and what are the areas that you can improve and modify your sustainability strategies.
Thank you. Yeah, last question, please.
To Venkatesh sir, very nice, thank you so much. So just want to understand the review meeting should be done weekly, monthly, quarterly, how much frequency should be there?
My experience as a CEO, I do only once a month on 5th of the month. Not 10th, not 20th. If 5th is working day, it maximum 6th. I mean, 5th is a holiday, it becomes 6th. 5th time is 10 o'clock, end time is not fixed. It can go to any extent, doesn't matter. But the one full day, I have an agenda for the next of the month, not only for me, for everybody. That is where 25% of the presentation is past, 75% on the future. Past I can't change last month. Next quarter, what are you going to do? What support you want? Interdependencies. And the review is all are there. For me, the guys who are selling are there. The guys who are technology guys are there. And support guys, HR and admin and procurement, finance, all are there. So that the interdependencies don't come and creep with me. Finance has not worked. Tell here. Same way procurement will tell here what support you are not getting. Be open. I encourage the conflict. So thoda raise the heat to get it open so that there is a team building. Then पीछे बात करके क्या होगा? I suggest, my experience last 31 years is monthly is more than sufficient. Then out of that monthly review, there are certain issues which come out which you cannot discuss there in detail. So they require in-depth discussion of couple of more hours individually. Those I do it during the rest of the month. Then trying to solve them there itself. Because then you will not go in depth there, you try to make a wrong decision. Thank you.
So, first of all, I'd like to thank both our...
Last thing is, I want to give you some tips.
Please.
For your success.
Okay.
Particularly, you must tell your children. First tip is avoid negative people. Avoid negative sources, negative thoughts, negative things. Please avoid them. Believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody else can believe you. Cultivate many people for your success. You cannot succeed on your own. You require support of many people. In the beginning of our life, our parents were with us. Later, teachers were with us. You forgot that you have to cultivate throughout your life so that they can ignore your small mistakes and support you. Avoid negative people. That story and close it is a tiger is sitting here and enjoying the green lawn. one donkey comes and asks, what are you enjoying? Green lawn. Arey, lawn is always blue. What are you enjoying? No, it's green. No, it's blue. Donkey is saying blue, this one is saying. Then finally donkey suggests, let us go to your boss lion and decide now who is right. So they go to lion, and first donkey talks to the lion. Sir, your fellow is unnecessarily arguing that lawn is green. I am saying blue, tell me. So finally lion says, you are absolutely right. Lawns are always blue, and punish this bugger for 5 years imprisonment. And this fellow says, sir, what is this? I am reporting to you. I have been working with you, loyal to you, and you are punishing me 5 years listening to that guy. I am punished you for 4 reasons. Wrong. One reason is, who asked you to argue with him on a lousy topic whether lawn is green or blue? Number 2, with whom are you arguing? Lousy fellow, donkey. Third one, who is he to propose? Let us go to your boss. I am your boss. And that fellow brings you. And fourth one, he opens his mouth first, not you. Thank you.
That was a wonderful closing story, sir. And we're very thankful to both our esteemed speakers, Sunny and Venkat, for this wonderful, enlightening, enriching evening where I'm sure we have a small audience, but it was each minute was worth it for all of us with your wonderful insights, life lessons, and other thoughts, which really enjoyed. So thank you all of us for, sparing your time today evening. And we will have more such sessions before. And Venkat has been coming to AMA, sir. You should also come. And whatever else we can do with your council and AMA, we can look at that in a synergy. What we can do will be very serious because your topic is very interesting. Thank you so much, friends, and wish you a good evening. Thank you.